there's a strong possibility that something's going to happen in the near future that you might need to be prepared for. There's also a very strong possibility that there's nothing going to happen in the very near future. Just looking for Tom. Tommy. A lot of people say golf is one of the most frustrating yet rewarding sports. Nah, man. It's turkey hunting. Sometimes Tommy just won't gobble, and there's just not much you can do about it, and you just got to sit and wait. Call every 5-10 minutes, something like that. I like getting out here and turkey hunting. It's one of my favorite things to do. It just gives me some time to think, and it gives me some time to kind of reflect on what's important to me. And I don't think I'm different than you guys. I think we all struggle with balance in our lives. I think we struggle with the order of importance. We've all got responsibilities. We're all busy guys, right? Gals as well. We all struggle with prioritizing the things that we have in our lives and the things that take up our time. And I'm definitely no different. It's always a struggle. And I don't, honestly, in my opinion, I feel like I'm never going to have it completely figured out. I feel like there's always going to be a balancing act. It's always going to be, as soon as you realize that this thing over here is falling to the side, and you're neglecting it, you're not paying attention to it. You realize that. So you work really hard and you try to build that one thing up in your life. Maybe it's your marriage, maybe it's whatever, fitness or preparedness, whatever, that one thing that's falling down, and you're like, oh shoot, I need to work on that. So you go work on that, and you invest a lot of time and energy into it, and then suddenly, as soon as you feel like you're getting that a little bit all right, you notice that this thing over here has been heavily neglected because you've been spending all your time working on this thing. And so it's a constant balancing act of juggling the priorities and figuring out what is lacking, what is falling behind, and then building that back up. And I honestly, I could be wrong, but I don't think I'm ever going to get to a point where I'm like, yep, nailed it. Everything's in perfect harmony. I don't think that's going to be ever a thing. So, but the fact that we're working on it, the fact that you and I are aware of that fact, aware that there is an imbalance in our life, and that we're striving to find that equilibrium, I think that sets us apart, and I think that is important. I think that's a big deal. I want to be the best husband. I want to be the best father. I want to be the best hunter. I want to be the best protector, provider. I want to be a lot of things. And the fact is that I'm never going to be the best at any of those things. I don't think that's in the cards for me. I want to be mediocre at everything. Maybe some things are more important than others, of course, like, your marriage and your kids and stuff, but I want to be good at all of those things, and that requires time and patience and an investment of your time and energy. That's really what it is. And there's nothing more precious than time. We waste our time on lots of stuff. We waste our time so much, and I'm just as guilty as you are. Like this morning, I probably wasted 30-45 minutes this morning just doing nothing, when I could have been being productive during those 45 minutes or whatever it was before I got out here. Could have got out here earlier, I'm not good with schedules and calendars and stuff. I rarely know what day it is. I don't wear a watch. I don't. And some of that's by design, and I like to live my life that way, but unfortunately, I've been very blessed that I can live my life that way. It doesn't really matter what day it is most of the time. 90% of the time, at least. But just having an awareness of your weaknesses is important. So, like, for example, I'm not the best at land navigation. It's something that I haven't spent a whole lot of Something was behind me while I was talking to you. Stand by. Could have been just a squirrel, I guess. Squirrels are tricky sometimes. Sounds like a water buffalo behind you sometimes, and it's just a little squirrel. I'm out here hunting, but a lot of the skills that I learned from being a better hunter, and just you can't become a better hunter without just getting out here in the field and spending time laying down in the leaves. The skills that I acquire from being a better hunter have some carryover to being a better protector and provider for my family. Maybe I'm just trying to justify my hobby of turkey hunting, but I think there's more to it than just that. I'm not frivolously wasting my time doing something that for the sake of only doing something. I'm not saying it's wrong. Like, if you're a golfer or whatever, if that's your thing, you should be able to go do what you enjoy from time to time, as long as it's within balance, and it doesn't consume your life. As a man, I'm not a woman, so I can't speak to you women per se. Maybe I think a lot of the things that I'm talking about apply to women as well, but I'm not a woman expert, so I don't know. But so the 3 or 4 of you watching that are ladies, let me know what you think about this subject in the comments section. But I think as long as you don't behave like a child and let childish things, games and toys consume you, then I think you're going to be okay spending a little bit of time here and there on them. If you're into guns and gear and stuff and you let that consume you and you're spending all of your hard-earned money on those types of things, and spending all your time at the range as opposed to spending time with your wife and kids, and it's become unbalanced, then there's a problem there that needs to be reevaluated. And again, not perfect. I am a shining example of what not to do half the time. I mess up a lot, but I want to be better, and I want to encourage you guys to always aspire to be a little bit better, and just be a better human. But it is good for us. It's good for us, and you shouldn't be. I feel bad sometimes coming out here and doing things like this because I love it. I enjoy it so much that I feel ashamed that I'm spending time doing it and not giving my time and energy into something else, to someone else. But I don't think it's wrong. I think doing things like this gives me a boost. It gives me a recharge, and it excites me about life, and it allows me to learn, and it allows me to listen to God, and it allows me to slow my pace down a little bit and reevaluate the things that are important to me. And again, I'm not just justifying my passion for turkey hunting and getting out here and doing the things that I really like. I think it is really, really important that you do the things that you enjoy from time to time, just for the sake of enjoyment. Right there. That might have been turkeys right there. I gotta stop talking to you and get to work. That might have been a pig sleeping up here. There's a lot of pig sign, pig tracks, some places where they've been bedding down. That's probably what it was. I jumped one that was napping during the day because they're largely nocturnal, at least around here. And guys, I also want to encourage you to not spend all your time and money on prepping, right? There's a strong possibility that something's going to happen in the near future that you might need to be prepared for. There's also a very strong possibility that there's nothing going to happen in the very near future. And what if you spent your entire life preparing for the SHDF? And the SHDF never happens. I think that prepping can consume a lot of us, and the root of the problem is that we worry. We're worried that something is going to happen and that we won't be ready for it, and then that will inevitably cause pain and suffering and hardship for ourselves and for our families, and that's the concern. So we live our lives in fear of something that may or may not actually happen. And I think that that's a mistake. We have to continue to live our lives. Be prepared, of course, Be as prepared as possible for the most likely events that can happen in your area. But don't live your lives in fear. Don't spend your entire time worried. And if you're the type of person that only ever talks about the apocalypse, that's all that's ever on your mind, then that might be a problem. That might mean that there's an imbalance in your life and it needs to be reevaluated. I don't know. I'm just speaking in generalities here. Maybe not. But my guess is that's going to be the case. If that's all you ever talk about, that's all you and your buddies ever talk about, that's all there is in your life is prepping, then there might be a problem. And you're probably missing out on life. The sun is shining. The world is a beautiful place. The birds are chirping. It's quiet. It's peaceful. Until I see Tommy, that son of a gun. And that's another reason why I like getting out here and doing stuff like this, is because it allows me to forget about the world. It allows me to forget about the douchebags in Hollywood or the idiots in Washington. It allows me to forget about the evils of the world, the people out there that are bent on causing destruction and wreaking havoc. It allows me to remember that the world is still full of really awesome people. It's full of beautiful things that need to be seen by you. And if we live our lives in fear, we're going to miss out on so much. Be prepared. Absolutely be prepared for difficult times. But when those difficult times come, if you have the right mindset, you have a positive mindset, we'll figure it out. We're just going to figure it out. We're going to solve problems because that's what we do. We solve problems and life will go on. If I keep jabbering on to you guys, I'm never going to get a turkey. You realize that, right? You realize the sacrifice I'm making right now. I'm doing this for you. Probably spooked off a couple turkeys by now. I'm jabbering on to you. It's your fault. I blame you. I would say a general rule of thumb for most of you is to not spend more than about 10% of your time on any one particular thing, including prepping, right? So if more than 10% of your time is spent on preparedness, that means you're neglecting a lot of other really important things in your life. I probably spend a little bit more than 10% because, this is kind of my job. It's kind of what I do. It's kind of my thing. But if it wasn't my job, if this wasn't what I did for a living, I would definitely not be spending more than about 10%, I would say, of my time and resources on preparedness. I would do what needed to be done. I would check the boxes: food, water, warmth, shelter, security, first aid, all of the things. I would do that, and then I would get on with my life. I'd stay freshened up, I'd make sure my marksmanship skills were tuned up. I would do that, once a month or so, I would say, something like that. Make sure my first aid skills are on par and where they should be. I would make sure my survival skills are where they need to be with a monthly outing or so, And then the rest of my time would be spent with my family and friends and doing other things that I enjoy doing. Making the world a little bit better place, perhaps. Helping other people. Spending more of your time. If you were spending more time on preparedness than you are on helping other people, then that's probably a problem. I think that's a problem anyway. Being prepared, I guess, in and of itself, I guess you could look at it that way. Being prepared is helpful towards other people, and that is potentially helping other people. So I guess I can see it that way as well, but I think you guys get what I'm saying. It'd probably be a mistake in this video to not discuss gear at least a little bit. I know you guys all like gear. I like gear too. I'm not a gear junkie, but I do like good quality gear. And as much as I can, I like to simplify, kind of streamline my life. And that goes with my gear as well. The clothes that I'm wearing right now, with exception of, this camouflage t-shirt and the gloves, it's kind of what I wear normally anyway when I'm out doing things like this. The pack that I'm wearing is the pack that stays in my truck, and all of its contents are exactly the same. It's my get-home bag. It's my adventure pack. It's my weekend camping pack. It's my hunting pack. It's all the same stuff, and it works for everything that I want it to do. All the things that I do in the outdoors for the most part, or even in urban situations. I might take off that sleep pad or something in an urban situation, but I still carry the same pack around on the city bus, I like to streamline my life. The firearms that I use for hunting are the same ones that I would use for home defense for the most part. Same model, at least. Very similar. Mossberg 500 is my go-to. It's very reliable. I'm very good with it. I've practiced a lot with it. I'm very confident that I can use it effectively because I practiced with it hunting. I practiced with it target practice, skeet shooting, all the things. So simplifying my life and streamlining it so my EDC, all the stuff that's in my pockets right now, with the exception of a turkey call, is the same stuff that's in my pockets every day, all day. That way, when it's time to go do hunting or it's time to go to the city, I don't have to think about the kit that I'm going to bring, and the mentality is the same. I need all the same stuff regardless of the environment for the most part. And for me, that works. And for me, that makes sense. So in your life, in your gear, that your EDC, all the stuff that you carry around with you, I want you to take that into consideration. Is it stuff that you use on a regular basis, carry on a regular basis, or do you have a pack for this and a pack for that and a pack for that, and have you complicated it too much? It's always interesting to hear about things like that. Man, I just turned off the camera and a hawk flew 5 feet over my head. Just turned off the camera. I could have just easily turned it up to the sky and you'd have seen it, but man, it's things like that that keep me coming back. I may not always have success hunting for the game that I'm after, but it's things like that right there. I see things like that, and otherwise I wouldn't have. I've seen bears. I've seen huge, big boars out here. I've seen all kinds of really cool stuff. I've seen hawks catch rabbits. I've seen snakes eating frogs. I've seen amazing things in nature, and nature is the most amazing thing out there. It's the best show there is, in my opinion. You just have to have the patience to get out here and observe it for long enough. You'll never see these things if you don't get out here. It's a funny story. I lived in Southern California for a while, and we used to go hiking in the hills and stuff around us, and there were mountain lions there, and it's like, man, I really want to see a mountain lion. I've never seen a mountain lion in the wild. And I knew my chances were slim, but I was out there a lot. We'd go, weekly I'd be out there at least, looking for mountain lions. And and this friend of ours, this girl, she'd never really been hiking. She doesn't go outside, nothing. We told her about this place that we like to go hike. And she went and she saw a mountain lion the first time. It's like her first hike ever. She saw a mountain lion. It's frustrating. Still haven't seen a mountain lion, but eventually maybe. Best water on the planet. Without question. No arguments. You're wrong. And the other thing that I've touched on in previous videos is being well-rounded, right? I'm not an amazing turkey hunter because I don't spend all my time turkey hunting. If I was out here every day during turkey season, I'd get really good. I mean, I'd get very dialed in, and I would be slaying them. But I don't. I spend my time doing other things. I spend my time and my energy working on other skills, which makes me mediocre at a lot of stuff, which sounds bad. It sounds bad saying, you're not the best at anything. And I'm not the best at anything, and I don't want to be the best at anything, because if I was, that would mean that I'd be neglecting a lot of other skills and abilities and things in my life. So I want to be the average Joe, the jack of all trades. And I think a lot of you watching are probably in that same boat. Anyway, guys, I got to stop talking to you because I really do want to be hunting right now and not talking to a camera. So I really do appreciate you watching. Hit the thumbs up. One big camouflage thumbs up, please. Subscribe if you haven't done so already. In the comment section, tell me what you think about these subjects. What are you spending more than 10% of your time on? How about that? What are you investing a large portion of your days on? Your time, your money, your energy? I'd love to hear about that. Let me know what you think about these subjects. So thanks so much for watching, guys. I'll see you on the next one.